In Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final, Rangers defender Jacob Trouba barely missed with a high hit to Lightning forward Ondrej Palat. Palat was carrying the puck over the Rangers' blue line when Trouba missed the puck with a poke check. Then Trouba launched himself dangerously outward and upward, leading with his shoulder and arm and following through with his elbow. Yell at me all you want about his elbow only going out because of a follow-through after he missed. That's not how you're supposed to check. Look where Palat's head is when they start. Look where Palat's shoulder is when they start. Look where Trouba's head and shoulders are when they start. Look how low he is. Watch Palat here. He's going to go forward. His head and shoulders are in a certain spot right now, and I want you to watch where his shoulder is. Because as Trouba comes in, his head basically becomes his shoulder. His head goes where his shoulder was. See Palat's posture? So if Trouba was going to hit Palat in the shoulder when they started, he should have hit him in the head when Palat ducked. But he goes right over top of it. Guess what is at that height? Trouba's elbow. It would have hit him square in the shoulder. The shoulder would have hit Palat in the head. Because Palat ducked, that elbow should have hit him right in the head, and it would have. But the only reason it didn't is because Palat ducked sideways as well as downward. That was never, ever going to be shoulder to shoulder. That was going to be shoulder to head the entire way. But he goes right over top of it instead. And he doesn't just fall down because he trips over Palat. Look at his legs. He's launched. He's going over no matter what. He's extended too far, too early. Look where he is right now when he would have made contact. Look at how much of an angle his body's leaned out at. And look what's leading the way, that elbow and shoulder. You do not throw your shoulder into a check like that. You do not follow through into a check like that. You should never be so overextended that you're going to launch up and you're going to fall over. And this is a habit with Trouba. If you remember back in round 2 to this hit on Jarvis, Trouba does the same thing. Look how low he is, but his shoulder goes right over top of the opponent's shoulder and through his head. Why aren't his shoulders hitting Jarvis's shoulders? Because they're lined up at the same height right now. All he has to do is go straight through, but he goes up and over. Jarvis doesn't change his position. Trouba does. Trouba goes up and over. He explodes up and out, extends up into the head. It is his fault and no one else's. Watch here again. That shoulder goes up and out. It doesn't go straight through. That was never going to be shoulder to shoulder. Now, having said all that, I would have suspended Jacob Trouba in round 1 for this elbow to the back of Jake Gensel's head. I would have classified that as a non-hockey play that isn't malicious and given him 3 games for that. So that would have been suspension 1 this playoffs. Then we have the Jarvis hit where he starts slow but explodes up and into the head. To me, I classified that as a hockey play gone wrong. That would have been worth 1 to 2 games for me. It would have been worth 2 games as a hockey play gone wrong. But because he was a repeat offender now, with 1 suspension at least in the 3 to 5 game category, that makes him a repeat offender in the 3 to 5 game category. Therefore, that 2 game suspension that I would have just given would have been bumped up to the 6 to 10 game suspension category. So as a repeat offender with already a 3 game suspension and then a 2 game suspension, that would have made his suspension 7 games for that as a repeat offender. So when you look at this one, I know he doesn't make contact. I don't care. He would have. The only reason he doesn't make contact is because Palat ducks out of the way. That is not a reason to let someone off the hook for dangerous play. I'm sorry. This again, to me, I classify it as a non-hockey play that isn't malicious, putting it into 3 to 5 game suspension category if that was on its own. But now he's a 3-time repeat offender with at least 2 offenses in the 3 to 5 game suspension category. So as a 3-time repeat offender in very short order, the same playoff season, that would put this play in the 11+ game suspension category. Therefore, as a multiple repeat offender in the same playoff season in the 3 to 5 game suspension category, Tough Call would suspend Jacob Trouba of the New York Rangers 12 games for an illegal check to the head.